Greetings, fellow unbiased tech enthusiasts. AMD's #1 shill here. Okay, bad joke. Half of the people who watch our videos probably already believe that. Curiously enough, the other half seems to think we're Intel shills. Illuminati confirmed? Wait. What is this video about again? All right, more AMD Ryzen shilling. Speaking of shilling, if you guys want to use our Amazon affiliate code to buy any of the processors mentioned in this video, either the current gen Ryzen or if you wait till Ryzen 2, you can use our Amazon affiliate link that's in the video description. It gives us a small kickback that helps keep everything going, keeps the channel successful, and make sure that we can continue to bring these videos. And I really appreciate you guys when you use our Amazon affiliate code. So thank you very much. Moving on, whether or not you should buy Ryzen or Ryzen 2, but either way, Amazon affiliate code. Now you know. That's right, whether you like it or not, AMD's Ryzen processors proved to be phenomenal pieces of hardware that forced Intel to actually get off their lazy butts out of bed for the first time in years, just like the giant at the top of the beanstalk. And if the stars align the way AMD is planning, we'll be getting Ryzen 2 sometime later this month, as long as this is released in April, which I'm not sure I'm necessarily in control over. So April 19th is when we're supposedly supposed to be getting. It's some pretty exciting stuff, really. But before these chips actually hit the market, there's a question we've seen far too often over the last few months that needs addressing, and I need to fix my mic. And the question goes something like this. Should I buy a current gen Ryzen chip now or buy a new second gen Ryzen chip when they launch? Well, since we love addressing things even more than we love not addressing things, that's the question we'll be trying to answer in this video. Now, usually our recommendation in situations like this, where newer, faster products are right around the corner poised to replace the old ones, is to wait for the new parts. But there are a few factors at play in this case that make this, a tougher nut to crack. Pricing probably is the biggest reason we can't just recommend going straight for Ryzen 2 over current gen Ryzen. See, AMD is playing things very smart from what we can tell. They know that once next gen Ryzen chips hit the market, far fewer people will step up to clear stock on current gen chips without incentive. And that incentive has come in the form of major price cuts on the current lineup of chips. When our two favorite Ryzen chips launched, the Ryzen 7 1700 and the Ryzen 5 1600, they were priced at $329 and $189 respectively. Those prices were already amazing back then, since there was no Intel products with as many cores and threads. They even came within, smelling distance of those price ranges. Since then, though, there have been two major price cuts to the lineup. The first brought the 1700 down from $329 to $299, and then the second dropped it to as low as $275. The chip is currently selling online for $273.99. The Ryzen 1600 started off at $219 and only received one price cut, bringing it down to $189, but it's actually currently selling for as little as $176.27, and even less after a rebate at $156.27. The X variants of these chips used to sell for $399 for the 1700X, which has since dropped to $288.96, and whereas the $249 was the launch price for the 1600X, it's dropped to $199.99. That's $50 off, my friends, and that's 20%. Now, while AMD hasn't confirmed most of what the new Ryzen 2 lineup will have to offer, multiple leaks have probably spoiled pretty much everything about the chips at this point. The most recent of these leaks have basically blown the lid off entirely, including performance of the chips, which we'll get to in just a minute. But first, let's focus on pricing. About 2 weeks ago, 4 Ryzen 2000 chips were laid bare for all to see on e-tailers like Amazon. Those listings have since been removed, but not before sites like WCCF Tech grabbed all of the info that they could. According to the listings, we can expect the Ryzen 7 2700X and 2700 to come in at $370 and $300 respectively. Moving down a rung, the Ryzen 5 2600X and 2600 will be priced at $250 and $200 respectively. This puts the higher end chips at a lower launch price than the first gen equivalents, while the launch price for the two R5 chips look to cost the same or a little less than the first gen. However, with current pricing in the mix, 3 of the current gen Ryzen chips are between 22% and 25% cheaper than their replacements, while the 1700 is only 9% cheaper than the 2700. Okay, so if the old chips, minus the weird price difference between the 1700 and the 2700, are an average of 23% less expensive, the new chips should offer more and perform a lot better to make them worth it. That's at least how we see it, So what are the new chips bringing to the table that Ryzen 1 didn't, and how much better do they perform because of it. Well, specs-wise, AMD didn't go into too much detail about the new chips, only confirming that they'll be built on the 12nm process, but luckily the same leak that brought us the pricing for the chips also brought us a substantial spec sheet. That's alliteration to the max. According to said leak, all of the Ryzen 2 parts will have the same core and thread counts as their older brothers, but that's about where the similarity ends. Except for when I say older brothers, it makes it seem like they're better chips, but really they're just like older. So like they're granddads or like papas. Papa chips. So Ryzen 1 is now officially known as Papa Ryzen. That's what you get out of this video. Hashtag Papa Ryzen. The 2700X sports 8 cores, 16 threads, a base clock of 3.7 GHz, and a turbo clock of 4.35 GHz, and it has a massive TDP of 105 watts and comes bundled with a Wraith Prism cooler. The non-X 2700 comes with 8 cores and 16 threads of its own, has a base clock of 3.2 GHz, boostable to 4.1, 65 watt TDP, and is cooled by the Wraith Spire. 2600X rather comes in with 6 cores, 12 threads, a base clock of 3.6, a turbo clock of 4.25, 95 watt TDP, and also comes with the Wraith Spire. And lastly, the non-X, just normal 2600, also has 6 cores, 12 threads, base clock of 3.4, and a boost clock of 3.9, and a TDP of only 65, and comes bundled, that dirty troll, comes bundled with the Wraith Stealth cooler. All 4 chips are also expected to feature native support for DDR4 2933 MHz, and it's also pretty much confirmed that they'll be launching on the 19th of April alongside new X470 and B450 motherboards. According to those specs, we're looking primarily at chips with higher core clock speeds and unfortunately significantly higher TDPs than current gen in certain situations. But while specs are cool and all, if you're into that kind of thing, they're not a representation of what these chips will actually do. For that, you need reviews, and unfortunately those won't be coming out until the chips... Oh wait! Never mind, apparently some people didn't get the memo. That's right, a full-blown review of 3 of the upcoming chips, namely the 2700X, 2600X, and the 2600, was apparently published in a French magazine called CPC Hardware. Pictures of the review were then uploaded to Reddit for all to see. According to the uploader, who translated parts of the review, the magazine tested all of the chips on an A320 motherboard. It's a strange choice, not only because it's about as entry-level as you can get when it comes to Ryzen boards, but also because it shouldn't be equipped with extra features offered by X470 B450. Those features being primarily support for XFR2 enhanced mode and precision boost overdrive, both of which will work to boost clock speeds under the right conditions. But according to the magazine, higher end boards didn't really provide any big performance uplifts over the H320 board, so they just went with it. Although I don't understand that. So strange testing methodology aside, the magazine had results aplenty. Thoroughly going over them would take far too long, so here's a TLDR. In multi-threaded workloads like rendering in Blender, the 2700X killed it, boasting a 14% better overall score than the 1800X. It scored 21% higher than the 1700X. The 2600X scored 11% higher than the 1600X, while the 2600 showed the least improvement, coming in at 8% higher than the 1600. The magazine also threw a few Intel chips into the mix, the most interesting being the 8700K, which scored 15% lower than the 2700X. Impressive stuff. But let's get to the good part already. Gaming performance. Gaming performance was where the original Ryzen lineup fell short, at least when compared to Intel's offerings. So just how much do these new chips close the gap? Well, as it turns out, it's not a lot. The 2700X proved the superior chip when compared to both the 1800X and the 1700X, posting 3.4 and 5.4% higher scores overall. The 2600X proved to be 4.2% better than the 1600X, while the 2600 was 4.3% better than the 1600. Unfortunately, Intel proved once again to be the gaming king with the 7700K, 8700K, 8600, and 8400 all taking the top 4 spots. The 2700X is still around 14% slower than both the 8700K and the 7700K. So even though they're better gaming chips than their predecessors, it's still not quite enough to dethrone Intel. The review also showed that Ryzen 2's improved architecture allowed for much better latency compared to current Ryzen, but that all of it, along with their other improvements, made them much hotter chips. The 2700X was shown to draw a massive 142.6 watts from the wall while under load, which is kind of hot. So of course, there's a good chance that the Ryzen 2000 chips tested could manage even better performance on a better board, but these results give us a pretty good idea of what to expect. And while we won't go into detail on it since it's old news at this point, another performance leak came out a while ago via MSI Software's benchmarks page, since taken down because obviously. Notebook Check has a full breakdown on it if you're interested in benchmarks like Arithmetic Native and Financial Analysis Native. But to sum it up, the site states that this benchmarks show higher frequencies and lower power consumption, which contradicts what we saw in a more recent review. The light just went off. Just deal with it. The light's off. There's nothing I can do about it. This is the difficulty of filming in hotels, people. I don't have access to the best hardware everywhere, okay? Just thank you so much. Hopefully the auto ISO ups it. So cache and memory speed and latency improvements existed. Okay, so what to make out of all of these numbers flying at our faces? Should we keep embracing the current Ryzen lineup or kick it to the curb in the favor of the new one? Tell us, Breed! Well, as with most things in life, yeah, it kind of depends. According to what we've seen so far, if you're looking for the best gaming chip around, you're still stuck with Intel. Neither current nor upcoming Ryzen chips look set to take Intel's throne in that department. If you're still dead set on Ryzen for gaming and only gaming, we can't really recommend waiting for and ponying up significantly more cash for a Ryzen 2 chip over a Ryzen 1 chip. A maximum of 5% increase over current gen Ryzen in gaming performance doesn't justify as much of a price premium as the chips look set to sell for. Just buying the chips that are currently out for their discounted prices will probably get you just as far and last just as long. If, however, you're looking for a chip that's fantastic at not just gaming, but also multi-threaded workloads like streaming, rendering, and content creation, then the price premium is probably justifiable. From the benchmarks we've seen, Ryzen 2 provides more than enough of a performance uplift over Ryzen 1 to make it well worth the wait, as well as the extra cash you'll need to plop down for it. That being said, AMD might have to be careful if they really want to price these chips around almost the same as the equivalent Intel Coffee Lake chips. Even though Intel's 8700K sports fewer cores and threads than the top tier Ryzen chips, if far outclasses them in gaming performance and sticks hot on their heels in multi-threaded workloads because of its better single-core performance. And if recent leaks and rumors about an 8-core 16-thread Coffee Lake chip being in the works hold any water, neither current nor upcoming Ryzen chips should be able to stand a chance performance-wise. That is, unless other rumors about a secret 2800X being in the works are true. But that's a whole nother can of worms that's neither here nor there, but we'll get into it when or if that happens. So that's the breakdown on current Ryzen 1 versus Ryzen 2. Which one are you most interested in? Do you think that Ryzen 2, with the leaked reviews that are coming out, are worth waiting for? Are you looking at these results and being like, that's disappointing? And then you just, you are just going to pick up a Ryzen 1 chip as it is, or are you going to go with Intel because you're seeing that Ryzen 2 is not going to blow it out of the water? Ryzen 2000, whatever we're calling it. I know it's Zen Plus. Okay, it's Zen Plus. That's the architecture. Ryzen 2 is the retail package. Two different things. It's just like basically we have Intel Coffee Lake, but it's the i7. The two different things. Coffee Lake architecture, i7 is the retail package. Zen Plus, Ryzen 2. That's the difference. Okay, folks, I'm ending it here now. Anyways, let me know your thoughts either down in the comments or over in our community Discord. Let me know. Let's chat over there. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Also, again, don't forget to use our Amazon affiliate code if you're picking up any chips. Coffee Lake, Ryzen, whatever, it doesn't matter. It just gives us a small kickback that helps us out and supports the channel. Also, be sure to smash the like button if you enjoyed this comparison. Get subscribed to stay up to date on all of our tech-related content. I am Brett with the UFD Tech Channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. No longer in DC. I'm leaving DC today, and I'm going to bed now because it's 10:22. My eyes. I'm sure you guys have been commenting on my eyes. They're bloodshot. I know. Thank you. Good night.